The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
It's just the weirdest thing, but it always happens to me, and I always have to just pretend that I don't always spend my time here, I swear to God.
Is that your favorite ride? I mean, that's a weird thing that you are Snow White now.
I mean, It's one of the original. I'm a really big Disney fan. I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
so it's like, it's a part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing, so.
This Snow White press tour has got to be the worst marketing I've ever seen for a movie. I mean, the new Snow White actress is literally walking around interview to interview just bashing Snow White.
Rachel Zegler, the star of the upcoming Snow White remake, is making headlines once again. But not for the reasons you might expect. After some recent backlash over the film, Rachel's response has been making waves. So what's the drama all about, and how has Rachel reacted? Stick around as we dive into the latest buzz and break down everything you need to know. So let's dive into the issue. But of course, before I spill anything, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut, who knows?
Never wanted to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes?
I needed a job.
Fans are growing more concerned about Disney's new Snow White remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before.
Disney's D23 Expo just gave us our first look at Gal Gadot as the evil queen in the new live-action remake of Snow White. This movie is set to hit theaters in the US on March 21st, 2025. It's going to bring back the magic of Disney's first animated feature, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which came out more than 80 years ago. This classic film was Disney's first full-length animated movie and helped start their storytelling legacy. The story itself comes from an 1812 German fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm and is still loved today. In this new version, Rachel Zegler plays Snow White, and Gal Gadot gives the evil queen a fresh twist. The cast also features Andrew Burnop as Jonathan and Martin Kleba as Grumpy, bringing new energy to these classic roles. Mark Webb, known for The Amazing Spider-Man, directs and produces the film with a screenplay by Greta Gerwig, famous for her recent smash Barbie, and Erin Cressida Wilson. With these talented people leading the project, we can expect a deeper look into the story and its characters. Plus, Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, the award-winning team behind La La Land and The Greatest Showman, are writing original songs, promising a magical musical experience.
Rachel Zegler has finally responded to all the Snow White backlash she's been receiving. And you won't believe this, but she allegedly apologized for her rude comments. She said that it was never her intention to come off as ungrateful after those videos started going viral.
This live-action remake isn't just a simple retelling of the classic story. There's been a lot of talk and debate about changes in the movie, especially about how the Seven Dwarfs might be different or even missing. This has got fans and critics chatting about how these changes might affect the core of the story. There's also been a lot of talk about Rachel Zegler's role in the movie. Even though she's cast as Snow White, there are rumors she might leave the project. This has made fans curious and worried, as it would be a big surprise given how important this film is. Her casting was already a hot topic because she's of Colombian and Polish descent, which adds a new twist to the traditional Snow White image.
I get stopped for photos every time I'm online for the Snow White ride, and I have to pretend like, oh God, well, crazy that we're in front of this.
Excitement is growing for this new version of Snow White. It's clear that the film will blend a nod to Disney's classic roots with a fresh twist on the story. With a starry cast, creative direction, and possible plot surprises, this live-action remake is set to be one of Disney's biggest talking points in the next few years. Whether it will live up to or exceed expectations is still unknown. But one thing's for sure, this Snow White won't be like any other. The drama around Disney's new live-action Snow White remake has become quite a sensation, with Rachel Zegler at the center of the storm. Although she's cast as Snow White, she's been in the spotlight for more than just her role. The buzz started when some old interviews of hers came to light, where she shared her honest opinions about the 1937 animated classic. Unlike many Disney fans who love the original, Zegler has been outspoken about her issues with how Snow White and Prince Charming are portrayed. This has led to a lot of debate among Disney fans and critics. Zegler's comments have sparked rumors that her take on Snow White will be quite different from what fans are used to. She's hinted that the character's story might undergo a major change, focusing more on empowerment and independence rather than just finding love. According to Zegler, this new Snow White will emphasize ruling her kingdom with strength and determination, marking a big shift from the original story.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
This new version of Snow White is similar to other recent Disney reboots, like the 2021 Cinderella, where traditional roles were turned upside down. But not everyone is happy with these changes. Some Disney fans feel that Zegler is moving too far from the original story spirit. Her comments have been seen by some as disrespectful to the classic tale. It's like if Mickey Mouse's famous ears were replaced with something totally different, fans are clearly upset. This reaction was especially strong after Zegler's interview with Variety, where she described her Snow White as a leader, not just a fairy tale princess waiting for her prince. Things got even more heated when Zegler talked about Prince Charming in an interview with Extra TV. She called him a stalker, which upset a lot of people who love the original story's romance. Zegler mentioned that Andrew Burnap, who plays the prince, will be reimagining the role to fit the film's modern twist. This new take has stirred up more drama, with some fans accusing Zegler of focusing too much on her own views instead of staying true to the original story. It's a special feeling to look back on childhood favorites like Snow White and then see someone like Rachel Zegler become a big name. Zegler's boldness in facing her critics about the new Snow White movie is well known. She's shown strong confidence on social media, standing up for her role, and directly responding to those who have doubts about the film.
Never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I am the most grateful person alive, but I'm also keeping it.
Some people see Zegler's strong stance as a sign of intolerance. One Twitter user even suggested that the dissatisfaction with her portrayal of Snow White reflects a general tiredness of seeing assertive female leads, no matter their political views. Another person pointed out what they see as inconsistency in Zegler's positions, mentioning how she once rallied against Gina Carano over a pronoun controversy. Recently, Gina called Rachel out for being insincere after Rachel tweeted about wanting a kinder world. Now, Rachel seems to be facing backlash for her past actions, though not everyone agrees with this view. One person said, "I thought Rachel Zegler has done something really bad," but it turns out she's done what many male actors have done without much fuss. In the movie's context, many might see it as a romantic story, especially with Andrew Burnap's strong performance adding a notable contrast.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's
Social media, especially TikTok, is buzzing with debates about whether these changes are really about empowering women or just stirring up controversy. On top of that, there are rumors that Disney might be thinking about dropping Zegler from the project. There's a lot of speculation about this, but neither Disney nor Zegler has said anything about it. The lack of comments from both Disney and Zegler has only fueled more speculation, leaving fans anxious about the film's future and Zegler's role. One of the biggest surprises was when Zegler admitted in an interview that she had only watched the original Snow White once and didn't find it particularly enjoyable.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
I'm a narcissist. I don't know. And it's always like my publicist Ashton was with me the last time it happened, and I was like, God, I hope no one, because every time they come up to me, I'm always online for this freaking ride, and they think it's like I'm standing there waiting for the photo op, being like.
This admission set off a firestorm online, with critics questioning why someone with such a lukewarm view of the classic was picked to play Snow White. One viral tweet captured the frustration. Rachel Zegler said she didn't really like Snow White as a kid and only watched it once before getting the role. Seriously? Out of all the actresses who love Snow White, she's the one playing her? Many fans shared this sentiment, raising doubts about Disney's casting choice. Disney has also been criticized by public figures like Tomi Lahren, who didn't hold back in her comments about the remake. Lahren warned that drastically changing a beloved classic might hurt the film's success, possibly leading to a box office flop. She questioned why Disney would cast Zegler, who has openly criticized the original Snow White in the lead role. Lahren went further by digging into Zegler's past interviews, pointing out her dismissive comments about the original story, and even mentioning Zegler's suggestion of a dress surcharge for wearing Snow White's iconic gown.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Lahren accused Zegler of not appreciating the role she's been given, a view shared by those who feel Zegler isn't showing enough respect for the character.
Now listen, if Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character, herself.
Interestingly, Gal Gadot has kept a low profile regarding Rachel Zegler and the Snow White remake. She hasn't shown much public support for Zegler or talked extensively about the film in response to questions. Gadot seems to be focused solely on her role and the movie itself, avoiding broader discussions about the film's themes or its societal impact. Usually when an actor faces criticism, their colleagues often step in to defend them, but Gadot has chosen not to engage in that way. In this situation, Gal Gadot has stayed away from the ongoing controversies. It's worth noting that Gadot has previously expressed her concerns about how female characters are portrayed in modern cinema. She has supported more authentic representation that highlights the differences between male and female roles, rather than using a one-size-fits-all approach. Despite the rising controversy, Zegler has mostly stayed calm and continues to push her vision for the character and the film. She hasn't publicly addressed the growing criticism, preferring to concentrate on the project. It's still unclear whether her approach will connect with audiences or longtime fans.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
One thing's for sure, the buzz about Disney's Snow White remake isn't going away anytime soon. As the release date gets closer, everyone will be watching Disney and Zegler to see how this drama plays out. In a bold move to address the controversy, Rachel Zegler shared a series of throwback photos on social media of herself dressed as a different Disney princess, including Snow White. Her message, "Every kid should believe they can be a princess no matter what," was a clear effort to reconnect with the beloved character and address some of the criticism she's received. While some fans praise Zegler's move, others are skeptical, seeing it as a strategic attempt to improve her public image after her earlier comments about the original Snow White. Although her post was touching to many, it hasn't completely silenced the critics. The backlash from her remarks about the 1937 classic still lingers, and some fans are questioning whether her recent social media effort is sincere or just a PR tactic to repair her image.
News sources lately have been predicting that the movie will not do well in the box office due to her unlikability, as well as others saying that this whole thing was orchestrated by her PR team, and others saying that her switching up is crazy.
The drama around Zegler's role in the project keeps heating up, especially with rumors about her future with Disney. YouTuber Mike Zero recently added to the buzz by sharing some behind-the-scenes speculation. He reported that Disney executives, including CEO Bob Iger, are closely watching the situation. There's growing concern about how Zegler's involvement could impact the film's reception. The real test will be the audience's reaction to the Snow White trailer. If the backlash continues, Disney might rethink Zegler's role in the sequel or even decide to scrap it and start fresh with a new take on Snow White's story. This backup plan would involve a new approach to the character and her story, possibly moving away from the controversial changes in the current remake. The potential for a big shift in Disney's plans shows how high the stakes are. Some people support Zegler's vision, seeing it as a needed update to an old story. Meanwhile, others feel the classic tale should stay as it is and not be altered by modern changes. This clash between new ideas and tradition has created a lot of debate. leaving Disney trying to balance the expectations of a varied audience. As the situation continues, the big question is, what's next for Rachel Zegler? Will she turn this controversy into a chance for greater success, showing her resilience and adaptability in Hollywood? Or will the Snow White drama overshadow her growing career? How this plays out could have a big impact on her future, either establishing her as a bold actress who challenges the norm or marking a tough setback that could be hard to overcome. Disney is also facing a big decision. The company needs to choose between pushing forward with a bold new take on Snow White or sticking with what's familiar and safe. This choice will affect not just the Snow White remake, but could also influence how Disney handles future updates of its classic stories. As the debate continues, it's clear that Snow White's story and Rachel Zegler's role in it have become a major topic in discussions about Disney's live-action remakes. Looking ahead, the future of both the film and Zegler's career is uncertain. Will Disney continue with its current plan to offer a Snow White that shakes things up, or will they revert to a more classic version to satisfy traditionalists? For Zegler, will this experience be a breakthrough that boosts her career, or will the controversy become a challenge she needs to handle carefully? We'll have to wait and see how things turn out, but for now, both Disney and Zegler are closely watching to see what happens next. The drama around Disney's Snow White remake not only puts Zegler in the spotlight, but also raises big questions about Disney's storytelling future. For 100 years, Disney has been known for its magical stories that captivate people of all ages. From the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937 to the cultural hit Frozen, Disney has stayed a major force in entertainment. This latest controversy might mean a big change in how Disney handles its classic stories. Disney's strategy of turning animated classics into live-action films has had mixed results. Movies like The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast did well at the box office, even though some fans felt they didn't stay true enough to the originals. On the other hand, films like Mulan faced criticism for straying too far from the source material, which led to disappointing results and divided fans. The current Snow White situation is similar to these past issues, but carries even higher stakes because of how iconic the original film is. As Disney tries to balance keeping its classic charm while updating for modern tastes, the company needs to be careful not to upset its longtime fans while still reaching a new audience. Disney's success in storytelling has always been about connecting with people emotionally through stories that stand the test of time. But today, with values changing quickly, the challenge is to update these beloved tales in a way that feels relevant to today's viewers without losing what made them special in the first place. The debate over Rachel Zegler's portrayal of Snow White and the possible changes to the story taps into a bigger cultural discussion about how traditional tales fit into today's world. Can a classic like Snow White, which comes from a different time, be updated to reflect modern ideas of empowerment and inclusivity, or does changing it risk losing its original charm? For Disney, the stakes are higher than just this one film. The biggest question might be how audiences will react. As viewers, you have the power to influence the future of these stories. Will Rachel Zegler's Snow White connect with you as a modern take on femininity, or will you miss the nostalgia of the original? Should Disney keep taking risks and innovating with its classic tales, or is it time to step back and preserve the timeless charm of the originals? The real test will come when the film hits theaters. Will you be one of the first to buy tickets, eager to see how this new version plays out? Or will you wait to see how things settle before deciding if this Snow White is worth your time?
I'm definitely pressured. The cartoon's so beloved. It's like a monumental moment in film history.
Yeah.
It was like the first feature-length cartoon movie. So of course there's like this pressure of being the first one, having to bring to life the first one. And it's also like, you just want to do right by your community so badly.
In the end, Disney's success with storytelling might depend on how well it understands and meets the needs of its audience, not just on its creative choices. As excitement grows and debates heat up, one thing is clear. The release of the new Snow White will be a major event. It could influence Disney's live-action projects for years to come. But what do you think about all this? Did Disney cast the wrong person for Snow White? Will this movie be a flop or a success? I guess only time will tell. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.